One mysterious aspect about the Star Wars sequel trilogy has all to do with Snoke's connection to the Solo family. This is Mike Zero. If you guys are new to the channel, do make sure to subscribe to see future Star Wars content. Now, as you all know, Snoke is one of the more mysterious characters in the Star Wars franchise, aside from Darth Plagueis. Now, if we examine Supreme Leader Snoke in the sequel trilogy, he was introduced in The Force Awakens by JJ in the form of a gigantic hologram. Then in The Last Jedi by Rian Johnson, in which we got to see him for the very first time in physical form. And then now in Episode 9, apparently Snoke will have involvement to a certain extent in the overall Episode 9 plot. Now, these past couple of weeks or so, we've been learning a whole lot more about this film when it comes to some of the set leaks, the set designs, the concept art, and storyboard descriptions, etc. One of which has all to do with Luke, Leia, Han, R2, Chewbacca, and Supreme Leader Snoke. Specifically, a description of Luke Skywalker sitting inside of the Falcon with R2-D2. Appears to be younger like how he was in The Last Jedi flashbacks. He is wearing his ceremonial robes and appears exhausted. Leia and Chewbacca are in the background. The next goes over Leia walking near Luke and Han Solo as they are talking. This appears to be after Ben has turned and betrayed Luke. Leia shows Han a message from Snoke via a hologram. Snoke here, however, appears as he did in The Last Jedi, with his injuries. The last goes over Han Solo watching the Snoke message to Leia showing signs of ties with the Republic. Leia must have known Snoke and who he really was. The hologram is pretty large inside of the Falcon and is on top of the iconic Dejarik game table. Leia eventually turns it off as Han and Luke look at each other. So, one interesting aspect about the sequel trilogy may very well be answered now in Episode 9. Exactly how does Han Solo know about Snoke other than the fact that Leia has mentioned him several times? Again, we do know that Han Solo delivered the famous line to Ben Solo when he says, you know, when he gets what he wants, he'll crush you. What really made Han Solo to believe in that so very well? Well, I believe that, you know, this all has to do with this description that may very well make it to the finalized version of the movie, in which we do get a sequence between both Han, Luke, and Leia. Finally, a reunion between the iconic legacy characters. Now, how could they really honestly make this work? Now, we do know that Harrison Ford is no longer signed up for any Star Wars movies that we know of right now. He's pretty much done with it. That's it. That's why he was killed off in The Force Awakens. He just wanted to essentially exit himself from the Star Wars franchise. And also J.J. Abrams wanted to put in that element in there as well. But looking at Episode 9, how could they really bring Han Solo back? Other than the possibility if they shot something for The Force Awakens that they never released for that movie and saved it for later, that's a possibility for sure. But as far as Luke, Leia, and Lando inside of the Falcon, how would they possibly do this with Leia as well? We do know that Carrie Fisher is not alive, and she was only going to be in the movie by use of unused footage from The Last Jedi and The Force Awakens. Now that they could easily perform. They're going to actually be using this technology in which they cut Leia out of scenes from The Last Jedi and The Force Awakens, and will be inserting her into new scenes for Episode 9. So the Leia issue is solved. My honest, question here is, how would they actually fit Han Solo into the equation? Is it going to be a different actor? Are they going to pretty much, kind of obscure his face? What are they going to do? That's a question for sure. Now, as far as Supreme Leader Snoke in the form of a hologram, where Leia is showing Snoke, or showing Han Solo, exactly what this figure looks like and who was responsible for turning their son to the dark side of the Force. Sounds like a very emotional moment for sure, and the way it's described that Luke is with R2-D2 and how he looks exhausted on board of the Falcon, it most definitely sounds like that this is most definitely a scene in which Luke Skywalker just escaped his Jedi temple after it burned down, and took his X-Wing or whatever ship was on his planet and returned back home to wherever that is, and actually had a moment with both Luke and, of course, Han Solo and Leia, that whole entire scene. So, with that being said, guys, I would really love to hear what you have to say about all of this. We do know that JJ and Chris Terrio, they are really trying to do big, amazing things, a lot of shocking moments and twists and turns and surprises in this movie that will really catch a lot of people off guard, and things that will be unpredictable. And to be honest, you know, what more of an unpredictable thing can you do than to actually have all 3 legacy characters appearing on the screen together? That, to me, would be the ultimate thing to do for the sequel trilogy that would really make a lot of fans happy. And after all, you know, Disney is actually looking at Episode 9 as a course correction technique and as a way to save the Star Wars sequel trilogy, and that JJ will be fixing certain elements of Luke as well. So we'll have to wait and see exactly what they will be doing here for the characters of Han, Luke, Leia, etc. You know, when it comes to Ben Solo and Kylo Ren and Snoke. Very interesting parts of the sequel trilogy for sure. Anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.
From night to